You don't need acres of land to grow a ton of food, just a smart layout. Let's get started. This is part 2 of planning the 2025 garden, and today we're focusing on garden layout and maximizing our space for the highest yields possible. To plan the layout of our garden, we first must need to know what garden beds we have to work with. I'm going to go over what garden beds I have, and then I will pop up a photo that I have done of my garden layout and walk through that with you. The bulk of my garden is in my backyard. I have 3 garden beds within my fenced in area of my backyard, and then I've got another bed that's on the exterior of my fence. So focusing on the inside of my fenced in area first, I've got 3 beds that are roughly 4 foot by 30 foot long. One bed is 5 foot by 30 foot. And so that's going to be where the bulk of my food is grown. On the outside of my backyard fence is where I have a 2 foot by 16 foot strip garden bed. That is, I have a cattle panel raised up, and that's traditionally where I've done tomatoes and staked them up, but we're changing things up this year. So that is the backyard. In my front yard, I have a new 3 foot by 6 foot oval metal raised garden bed. And then I have a old plastic kiddie pool that I'll be using, and tons of grow bags that I'll be using as well. And let me go ahead and pull up my garden layout for you and show you what I am talking about. So I used a simple Excel spreadsheet to build this out. This is my full garden area. We are using the square foot gardening method to really pack in as much as we can. Starting up here, we'll take this bit by bit. That is actually my gate, and I forgot to calculate that, so we'll have to nix that section off of our grow space. But just over from that, this section here is where we'll be doing our 3 sisters method. So corn, pole beans, and butternut squash. Those are 3 rows of those products, about 15 feet. Just down from that, we have a bunch of Z's marked on the screen there. That is various zucchini or squash plants that I'm going to put there. Down the center is going to be nasturtium to help with those pests. Zooming into the center section here, those 4 square gray boxes there, those are raised beds I built out of bee boxes. I'll be using that for cold crops like broccoli, cauliflower, kales, different things like that. This brown section I am currently keeping open for overflow space. This other gray spot is for more of those cold crops. All right, zooming on down to the rest of this space here, you're going to see some more dark gray boxes. Those are labeling the cattle panel arches that I have back there. I've got 2 of them, and I'm showing you here how they arch. On the first cattle panel arch, I've got butternut squash, 2 pumpkins, and another butternut squash on each side. And on the second cattle panel arch, I've got spaghetti squash and loofah gourds growing on those. This big open yellow section is going to be full of flowers. At least that is the goal. I'm awful with flowers, but we'll see how I do this year. And this third bed, I'm zooming back out here, is going to be where I use to fill in my tomatoes, peppers, basil, carrots, and some more flowers. So each of those red sections that are 2 squares each, those are my tomatoes. And then the carrots, those are going to be each square marked with a C. And like I said, square foot gardening method, 16 of them in each. There's some basil sprinkled in there, and each square with a pepper gets a pepper. The yellow sections are for more flowers. This one is our oval raised bed in the front yard for lettuce, spinach, kale, arugula, all of those good things. And then this long section here, this is that cattle panel trellis that's outside of my backyard. I'll be growing peas and cucumbers. I do have a random kiddie pool that I'll be doing watermelon and cantaloupe in, and then I also have 10 grow bags that I'll be placing around the property and growing potatoes in. That is the goal with those anyway. So that is the full garden using a simple Excel spreadsheet and using square foot gardening method. You've seen my garden layout. Want to know what to grow and when? That'll be in the next video in part 3.